welcome back to my channel where we're about that breaking cycles life. Guys, this week's chapter is really long. So what's gonna happen is we are going to do a part 1 and part 2. Okay, so this week my Bible is divided into subheadings, the New King James Version. So this one, the first 29 verses, it's talking about Isaac blessing Jacob, and then next week we'll talk about Esau's lost hope. Okay, and it still be Genesis chapter 27. Okay, so let's get right into it. It says, now it came to pass when Isaac was old and his eyes were so dim that he could not see, that he called Esau his older son and said to him, my son. And he answered him, here I am. Then he said, behold, now I am old, I do not know the day of my death. Now therefore, please take your weapons, your quiver, and your bow, and go out to the field and hunt game for me, and make me savory food such as I love, and bring it to me that I may eat, that my soul may bless you before I die. Now Rebekah was listening when Isaac spoke to Esau his son, and Esau went to the field to hunt game and to bring it. So Rebekah spoke to Jacob her son, saying, indeed I heard your father speak to Esau your brother, saying, bring me game and make savory food for me, that I may eat it and bless you in the presence of my Lord before my death. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice according to what I command you. Go now to the flock and bring me from there 2 choice kids of the goats, and I will make savory food from them for your father, such as he loves. Then you shall take it to your father, that he may eat it, and that he may bless you before his death. And Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, look, Esau my brother is a hairy man, and I am a smooth-skinned man. Perhaps my father will feel me, and I shall seem to be a deceiver to him, and I shall bring a curse on myself and not a blessing. But his mother said to him, let your curse be on me, my son, only obey my voice and go and get them for me. And he went and got them and brought them to his mother, and his mother made savory food such as his father loved. Then Rebekah took the choice clothes of her elder son Esau, which were with her in the house, and put them on Jacob her younger son, and she put the skins on the kids of the goats, on his hands and on the smooth part of his neck. Then she gave the savory food and the bread which she had prepared into the hand of her son Jacob. So he went to his father and said, my father. And he said, here I am. Who are you, my son? Jacob said to his father, I am Esau, your firstborn. I have done just as you told me. Please arise, sit and eat of my game, that your soul may bless me. But Isaac said to his son, how is it that you have found it so quickly, my son? And he said, because the Lord your God brought it to me. Isaac said to Jacob, please come near, that I may feel you, my son, whether you are really my son Esau or not. So Jacob went to Isaac his father, and he felt him and said, the voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau. And he did not recognize him, because his hands were hairy like his brother Esau's hands. So he blessed him. Then he said, are you really my son Esau? He said, I am. He said, bring it near to me, and I will eat of my son's game, so that my soul shall bless you. So he brought it near to him, and he ate, and he brought him wine, and he drank. Then his father Isaac said to him, come near now and kiss me, my son. And he came near and kissed him, and he smelled the smell of his clothing, and blessed him, and said, surely the smell of my son is like the smell of a field which the Lord has blessed. Therefore may God give you of the dew of heaven, of the fatness of the earth, and the plenty of grain and wine. Let people serve you, and nations bow down to you. Be master over your brethren, and let your mother's son bow down to you. Cursed be everyone who curses you, and blessed be those who blesses you. That's part 1. Oh my gosh. Never, as we can see from Genesis 1, we are always trying to help God. I think it's like innate in us to always want to help God, as clearly Rebekah and Isaac was trying to do here. And why is it that we always choose, speaking to myself as well, always choose to want to help God to do what he's doing, right? Because when we do, see, we end up lying, like what Jacob did. We end up we end up deceiving, you know. And if we would but just allow God to do what He's doing, you don't know how God would have caused Jacob to actually bless Isaac, because it was a prophecy that the younger should serve, the older should serve the younger, right? But guys, this is just a reminder. Part one of Genesis 27. It's just a reminder that we really don't need to help God, because when we start helping God, we end up in trouble, right? And we end up putting things into our own hands. And when things go into our own hands, as we'll see next week in the rest of this story, we realize that things don't actually go the way they're supposed to go. But God is so loving, so merciful, so infinite, so sovereign, that even in spite of us trying to put our hands in the middle of it, he still he still causes it to work out for our good and to cause his will to come to pass, right? Guys, it's actually really funny um that this is being reiterated throughout all the stories that we've spoken about this since Genesis 1. Us trying to help God, Eve trying to help God, not listening to God, not allowing God to do what he's supposed to do in the timing he's supposed to do it, right? Same for same for Abraham, same for Sarah. Ah, wow. If we only but actually wait for God, we would realize, we would avoid a lot of sinning, a lot of issues in life. But us in our sinful nature. Now, another lesson I wanted to bring out of it, it came to me, we should not allow our appetite to cause us to do things according to God. I'm not sure about this theory that I'm going to say, but maybe, just maybe, it was because Jacob was so focused on um, Esau's manliness, Esau's cooking, that he probably was not listening to God to actually bless Jacob instead of Esau, because he was old in age. And what was he concerned about? The fact that his his um his son Esau was able to hunt and do the manly thing and cook his favorite meal. Now we can definitely be blinded by the external, and it's actually a concept that is seen throughout the Bible, especially for David. Like, don't look at the outward appearance, but look at the inward. Maybe God was speaking to Isaac that he should bless Jacob instead of Esau, right? Sorry, mixing up the names, right? And Isaac, in his old age, was so concerned about the outward appearance, the vain things, and not realizing that he is supposed to listen to the will of God, or listen to the voice of God, and bless according to what God had instructed him, which would be to bless Jacob, right? Instead of Esau. So, because of his carnal nature, the flesh, and what he deemed, not what God deemed as suitable or as fit, because he deemed Esau as fit, he wanted to bless. But through 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 the workings of deception, unfortunately, God's will still came to pass. This is not to say that we're supposed to go against God's will or deceive people into doing God's will. No, we're supposed to allow God to do what he's doing. Don't know, maybe God would have spoken to Isaac once again and tell him that, listen, this is what I require you to do. and Isaac would have listened and blessed accordingly. So we don't know. But what we know is that we should not try to help God. We'll end up sinning, lying, deceiving, all of the sort. And second, don't look at the outward appearance, just as how Isaac did with Esau. But listen to the voice of God, and what God instructs us to do, may we do it with all our hearts. So really, those are the two lessons from part A of Genesis 27. And I'll see you next week for part B. Okay? So bye-bye. Have a great day. Hey guys, I hope you guys enjoyed today's encouragement, and I hope you guys are ready for the day ahead. Now do me a favor and press that like button and subscribe button if you are new, so that we can get more of this positive Christian content out into the world, okay? And I'll link my daily devotional playlist right here and my Let's Talk playlist if you want to tackle some social issues, okay? So have a great day guys. Bye-bye.